Happy Friday! Real Friday. I said happy Friday at 4:30 yesterday, but it wasn't. I meant to say Friday Eve, but messed that one up. It is August 1st. It's not supposed to be 104 today, so that's kind of cool. We are going to start out with 4 minutes of cardio, then we got 20 seconds of pec stretch. So hand or elbow, shoulder height, rotate your body away, open up that chest. Then you're going to go into that pigeon box reach. So you're going to put your leg on a box where you can lay your legs sideways like you would do in the pigeon. And then you reach down and through towards your bottom leg. Hold that for 20 seconds. And then we're going to do those banded chest and face pulls. So you're going to pull that band towards your chest and apart as you're pulling it there. So 10 of those, and you're trying to feel your shoulder blades moving together. And that, when you pull apart, that helps a lot to help get those shoulder blades moving. And then the same thing to the face. As you're pulling, you're keeping your shoulders down, but getting those shoulder blades to move. And as you work through that, we should be activating all those muscles around the shoulders. Then you're going to take a empty barbell or a PVC pipe, go overhead with that wide grip so that you can practice that snatch position, and we're going to squat nice and slowly, which should be quite a bit better than doing that with one dumbbell. Yeah, I know. What a day. What a day that was yesterday. Anyway, we have snatching today. We do not have to squat snatch, although the video is going to demonstrate squat snatching. But it is a good idea that every time you drop under, you at least unlock your hips into a little bit of a squat. That way you absorb that weight that lands over your head. You absorb that with your legs. Now he's going into a full squat, which is also what I will do. I'm working on dropping into my squat and catching that overhead. So that brings me to when you decide that you're going to squat snatch on the heavy rounds, then you should probably squat snatch on the early rounds, because this isn't just squatting, it's also technical timing. And if you don't work those kinks out in the early round, you're not going to be able to do that in the later rounds when it's heavy. So snatch that bar up. It's wide grip. For those of you that don't know, I know it doesn't feel, when you're new at this, it doesn't feel right to try and reach down wide and pick a bar up. But then when you go overhead and go to squat, the closer your grip, the harder your squat is going to be, which means you're not going to be able to get as low because your grip is too narrow. That squat snatch is meant to be done with that wide grip. It's meant to be done with that wide grip. So you need to be able to drop into a full squat if you wanted to. So what I'm getting at is, if my grip is narrow, this is as deep as I can squat without feeling like I'm going to fall over. The moment I slide my hands out, all of a sudden it allows my body to transition a little bit farther because my grip is wider. So anytime you're practicing snatch work, you need to be able to power snatch, squat snatch. All of it goes from this wide grip, because ultimately this bar needs to be able to go to this position, this crease in the hip. That way when you launch and extend your hips, that bar launches out of that pocket and goes up. So if it was done perfectly, you'd come up, extend those hips into that jump, you'd let your elbows bend, and that bar would launch straight up. And then as you drop down underneath, you're now in position to catch that. So that's also how you figure out how wide your grip is, if y'all don't know that. Put that bar right in the crease, slide your arms out till your elbows lock, get a full grip, and that's where you should grip. That way, every time you extend, it's right in that pocket. Anyway, we got 1 rep every 90 seconds. And then we jump into a 10-minute AMRAP. Now, it says 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way down to 1, and then it starts going back up, and then the ... That means you just kind of ride that roller coaster until 10 minutes is up. Most likely, you are not going to get all the way through another back up to 10, right? But the way this is going to work, you're going to do pull-ups over at the rig. And if you're doing comp, it's chest to bar. If you're doing burn, you can do ring rows or pull-up, banded pull-ups or regular pull-ups, your choice. But you're going to do pull-ups at the rig. And then you're going to go past the far cone. And somewhere on the other side of that cone, you're going to do your hand release push-ups, which just means you're going to go down to the bottom, release your hands, and press back up. If you're doing the burn, you can do that from your knees. And if you're going to do comp, we're going to do hand release push-ups from a set of 25-pound plates. And that's everybody, guys and girls. You're going to go down to the bottom, release your hands, put them back on, press back up. So you'll do 10 reps on round one. 10 reps of pull-ups, run down past the cone, do your push-ups. Then you're going to come down past this cone, so somewhere in this area, and you're going to do 10 sit-ups. So those sit-ups are just normal, standard sit-ups. Touch the ground, sit up, touch your toes. You can bend your knees if you want. You can put your feet together. You can leave your legs straight. You could go into the splits. Doesn't matter. As long as you're sitting up all the way and touching your toes, that's going to be a full range of motion sit-up. Touch the ground, sit all the way up, touch your toes. And then once you're done with your sit-ups over here somewhere, you go back to the rig, and now you do 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, and you just work your way into a circle. Questions on any of that? Sweet, let's warm up. We got 4 minutes of cardio. We are not in quite as much of a rush as we've been the last couple of days.